Hey YouTube, SWanger70. So I'm driving into work this morning. I actually just got here and I'm sitting in the parking garage. I don't have to clock in for a little while. So I figured I'd rattle this off real quick. Just want to remind everybody, today's Tuesday, so let's remember that by Friday, I'd like to see some of your votes on the brass off. Let's get our votes in either on my channel or Coda Boy's channel. Take a look at the videos of our brass preparation so that we can determine the winner. Man, I'll tell you what, I've watched his video, Coda Boy's video, probably 3 times, maybe 4 times already. I may have to just concede and deem him the hands down winner of the brass off, the first annual brass off. And you know what, everybody comes on YouTube that you see, they have their little thing, their little catch, and I'm not looking for my own little niche, so to speak. This is just a fun thing. You know, I started off just watching Coda Boy's videos, as well as, you know, Hickok, and I like watching that kid from Texas, Matt Carricker, with his Demolition Ranch. I just like watching him blow things up on his little range there that he had. But, you know, I don't have a niche like that, and I'm not looking for one. I just thought this would be fun, and you know what's really good about it is, the most unexpected thing is that, you know, I've made a couple of new friends from this, and not just somebody that I'll see online. You know, I've actually, I don't know exactly where Coda Boy is, but he's actually invited me to shoot, and I would love to go shooting with him. I don't know where he lives. I don't know how far of a drive or whatnot, but I can tell you, I'm going to make every effort to take him up on his offer, if for no other reason than to just go shoot at his range, where I can throw my guns in the mud and you know, rapid fire a little bit, maybe shoot on a piece of steel rather than a paper all the time. His range seems to be a little more relaxed about things like that. It's difficult for me to shoot at my range, and I've only been a member there for a little while, a very short time. It's a very old place. People have been members there for many years. You know, they've even gotten to the point where they've stopped taking memberships for a little while, because it was so crowded. And the rules there are not that they're not understandable, but, you know, people that shoot guns, as you guys well know, have different needs for what it is they're trying to do. And I'm realizing that, to be perfectly honest with you, you know, they have a 100-yard range there, which, you know, is fine if you want to try some precision shooting with your ARs or your rifles or what have you. And then they have a 50, a 75, a 50, 25, and then a 9-yard range, you know, for your different size weapons. They have a restriction. Nothing greater than a 308 anywhere on the range as far as semi-automatic. They have a 2-second rule between shots. You know, it just makes it real difficult, because, you know, I was approached probably about a month or 2 after I joined the range. There was a guy that's part of the administration, so to speak, of this range, and he does the 3-gun competitions. And he came up to me when I was shooting my AR one day, and he asked if I was interested in doing the 3-gun competitions. I said, sure, I think that would be fun. He said, there's only like 3 or 4 of us that do it. And he said, well, we either have the competition here at our range, or we go to somebody else's range and we compete against 4 or 5 of their guys. And I said, that sounds really fun. I said, where do you train? He said, well, we train right here. And I said, well, you rapid fire in these 3-gun competitions? He says, yeah, we rapid fire with our handguns. And I said, well, how do you train for that? You can't do that here. He said, well, we make do. I didn't like that answer. I'm sorry. I mean, and there's not plenty of indoor ranges in my area where I can go and pay money or become a member where they do allow some rapid fire. Not a lot, but some. And it's very heavily monitored in these ranges. And again, it's not like I don't totally understand. I do. It's a safety issue. But at the same time, when you have experienced shooters, when you have people that are training for specific things, you should be able to accommodate them. And I had to turn this guy down and say, look, if I can't train adequately, I'm not going to waste my time. I could be working, making money on this particular weekend rather than going and doing a competition, because I'm going to get snowed if I can't train. So that being said, meeting a guy like Coda Boy, for example, I think that's great. Give me an opportunity to shoot with him, learn from him, and shoot at a range where there's no restrictions. Because I'll tell you what, there was no better training than when you were in the military. In the military, no holds barred. Trust me when I tell you. I don't have a situation like that now as a civilian again. So, anyway, I am going to remind you guys, I'm going to wrap this up. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to try and get down to the range at some point over Father's Day weekend. Don't know whether I'll have my kids with me or not. I'm hoping I do. But sometimes they like to hang out with their mother and do stuff with her, and that's cool. I've never been much of a Father's Day. My ex has never been much of a Mother's Day person. So if I have an opportunity, I'm going to get down to the range and fire off some of my reloads. That's what my range is good for. Testing my reloads. Making sure my reloads are good, accurate, not too hot, not too light. So that's what I'll do. I'll see if I can't get out, and I'll take some video out there shooting some of my reloads. And I am right now in the process. There's 2 things I've got in the works for me, at least. I'm going to be very shortly starting on a project. I had made mention about picking up a little Mossberg 500 short barrel pistol grip stock, and I want to tactify it a little bit. I want to do a little build or a rebuild. So I'll bring you guys along on that journey, whoever's interested. And I am going to start reloading 223. So we'll see how that goes. And that's about it. I'm still using my single stage press and probably will continue to until further notice. I see that my buddy Coda Boy went and did the turret press, so he's graduating. I'm not ready to graduate yet. I'm still a freshman. But Coda Boy's he's up to his junior year now. So won't be long before he's a senior. And go and watch Coda Boy's video about his new press. Great press. He's punching bullets out left and right. And I'll talk to y'all soon. Shoot 'em straight.